All right, now we're ready to make our creamy pear smoothie. So what's so great about smoothies is that kids and adults love them. They're also very easy to prepare, which is great, especially with all the challenges we're being faced with right now. So they're easy to serve in cafeteria, school food service, the tree line, or if you're doing curbside or grab and go. Either way, they're very easy. And they're also very easy to prepare and then serve with other foods to make a reimbursable meal. So what's great about Pacific Northwest canned pears is that they're so healthy and easy to use in smoothies. A great thing about pear and yogurt smoothies is that they don't separate if you don't add liquid or ice. So I'm going to show you how that's going to work. But the other great thing is that they're very healthy. So extremely low in sodium, all those things that we're looking for in child nutrition programs. And so they're a great combination. This flavor profile is also delicious because we have the canned pears. We're using the sliced canned pears. We're using a non-fat vanilla yogurt, Greek yogurt, and then we're using some maple syrup and some cinnamon. So delicious, very delicious. So let's go ahead and get started with making our smoothie. So first we're going to put in 1 quart, 2 cups of our poached, which are canned Bartlett pears. What's great about these Bartlett pears is that they are an heirloom variety, so they're so delicious. So we're gonna go ahead and add those into the blender. We are making 12 servings in this 1 gallon blender. I like to do 12 servings so that it gives it enough room. These are 8-ounce servings. And then we're gonna add 1 quart, 2 cups. So 6 cups of pears, 6 cups of yogurt. We wanna make sure and get that in there. Then I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. Delicious. And 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now, another easy way, if you're making 100, 300 smoothies, you're probably not going to want to do it this way. You'll probably have a big immersion blender with a big bucket and a spigot on the end so that you can prepare a large number of smoothies. So I'm going to go ahead and get this blended. Okay, so now our smoothie is blended. You can see none of the ingredients are sticking to the side. They are all blended well together, so the smoothie is ready to go. And I'm looking on here, and we have the right amount of ounces, 96 ounces, because I made 12, and they're going to be 8 ounces in each cup. And I've already pre-made some, so then I'll just go ahead and fill 12 cups. 8 ounces. You can either use 9-ounce cups or 10-ounce cups. I have 10-ounce cups here. It's just whatever you have, and it has the line there up on top, so you can see how many you need. So a couple things that I want to talk about is today with some of the challenges that we're having to serve curbside, which is great that we can offer so many options. One thing that I would suggest is maybe putting a lid on top and then freezing it, and that way there are no spills during transportation in the car. It's also a great way if you're transporting from school to school. Some schools have central kitchens, and so they're transporting. Or if you're serving on the line or grab and go, a really fun way to kind of spice this up is to put a little bagel on top. So this smoothie is a 1/2 cup of fruit equivalent, and then we have 1 ounce meat me alternate equivalent and a 1 ounce grain equivalent for the bagel. So this would be for offer versus serve. We would have a meal here. Of course, they would need to choose their meal. So that's a really fun option for you. So there are 3 tips that I want to go over about the smoothies. One is that sometimes we're not getting the yield that we want, and so we may think that the fruit is blending down more than what it really is. And so we want to make sure that we know how much fruit we're actually getting. So One thing that you can do is just blend the fruit and let it sit for about 30 minutes in the refrigerator and see if it shrinks down to a lower measure than what you're looking for. If it's not shrinking and you're still not coming up with a good yield, it might be your yogurt. So one of the things that I have found is that not all yogurt measures the same. So you may want to measure the yogurt rather than weigh the yogurt. You want to make sure you have enough weight, at least enough weight, but typically you have to add a little bit more to get the measure that you're looking for, because the yogurt doesn't quite give you quite enough. So you just have to add a little bit more. So that's why it's nice to have a standardized recipe like this one that you can get on www.eatcannedpears.com. So the other thing that I want to say that could be great for smoothies is making sure that you're not adding any liquid or any ice to the smoothies, because when they're sitting on our tray line, they can start to separate and then they don't look very good. These will hold up very well for a couple of hours. And if you're not going to serve them all right away, if you have leftovers, you can store them in the freezer, or you can also store them overnight if you're using the Greek yogurt, because they tend not to separate. But again, you do need to see how it works in your facility, so you may need to just test it one time just to make sure. That's what we need to do all the time with standardized recipes, is make sure, because what works for me may not work for you. So those are some tips that I'd like to share with you. So as you can see, these smoothies were very easy to prepare. It's nice because we use the canned pears, which I do recommend that if you're going to serve these right away, if you're not going to hold them in the refrigerator a couple of hours before service, then you're going to want to put your cans in the refrigerator overnight so that they're cold when you put them in the smoothie, when you blend them in the smoothie. So really easy, no preparation, no peeling, no slicing, no dicing. They're just ready to go. All we have to do is drain the canned pears, measure them out with the Greek or high protein yogurt. We're adding our seasonings, our spices, things that make it taste good, the maple syrup and the cinnamon, and it's so easy and delicious and extremely healthy. Again, no fat, low sodium, and perfect calories for putting into our menu plans.